Picture this. Wile E. Coyote, the infamous chaser of the Roadrunner, is hatching another plan. The desert, where the relentless pursuit of the speedy Roadrunner by our ever-optimistic Coyote unfolds. Our furry friend is up to his old tricks again, but this time he's got something explosive up his sleeve, or rather in his paws. He's got a pile of dynamite. Yes, you heard it right, dynamite. Not just one or two sticks, mind you, but a whole heap of them. Enough to blow up a small hill. Now, what's he planning to do with all this firepower? Well, what else but to catch the elusive Roadrunner, of course. With a glint in his eye and a mischievous grin on his face, Wile E. Coyote sets about his task. He arranges the dynamite sticks meticulously around a bend in the road where he expects the Roadrunner to pass. The fuse is set, the trap is ready, and our Coyote sits back, waiting for his prey to walk right into his explosive ambush. But as we all know, things rarely go as planned for Wile E. Coyote. As he waits in gleeful anticipation, he fails to notice the burning fuse creeping towards the dynamite. The seconds tick away, and just as the Roadrunner whizzes past, unscathed as always, the fuse reaches its fiery destination. The explosion that follows is nothing short of spectacular. A cloud of smoke and dust engulfs the scene, and when it clears, we see our Coyote, blackened and dazed, flying through the air, a comical sight that never fails to elicit laughter. And once again, Wile E. Coyote, the master of disaster, proves that no plan is foolproof, especially if you're the fool making the plan. Switching gears, we move from the desert to a suburban house where Tom, the house cat, is on a mission to catch Jerry, the cunning mouse. In this classic game of cat and mouse, Tom, a rather determined feline, has put together an elaborate plan to finally outwit Jerry, the cheeky rodent who is always one step ahead. With a glint in his eye and a confident strut, Tom sets up an intricate mousetrap, a contraption so bewilderingly complex that it would make even the most seasoned engineer scratch his head. Now imagine a labyrinth of springs, pulleys, wires, and gears, all painstakingly arranged to ensnare the unsuspecting Jerry. A Rube Goldberg machine of sorts, but specifically designed for a mouse. Tom's anticipation is palpable as he awaits the fruition of his master plan. But alas, the best-laid plans of mice and cats often go awry. Jerry, with his signature sly grin, soon enters the scene, completely oblivious to the impending danger, or so it seems. However, Jerry is not just any ordinary mouse. He's a mouse with a knack for outwitting his adversary. With a quick glance around, Jerry spots the elaborate trap, and a twinkle of mischief dances in his eyes. With a swift pirouette, a leap and a dash, Jerry navigates the labyrinth of the mousetrap with the agility of a seasoned acrobat. The trap is triggered, but instead of ensnaring Jerry, it backfires on Tom in a spectacularly comical fashion. As the dust settles, we see Tom, looking quite flabbergasted, caught in his own trap, while Jerry scurries away, leaving Tom in a tangled mess of his own creation. This is a classic Tom and Jerry moment, a hilarious testament to the timeless charm of this duo's slapstick comedy. It's a moment that echoes with laughter, reminding us of the light-hearted joy of cartoons. And there you have it, folks. Tom, the cat with a never-ending spirit, reminds us that chasing after something isn't always easy, especially when that something is a crafty little mouse named Jerry. Now let's dive deep under the sea to the town of Bikini Bottom, home to our favorite square-panted character, SpongeBob SquarePants. This time we find SpongeBob in a peculiar situation, teaching the art of shoe tying to his best friend Patrick Star. You heard right, folks. SpongeBob, the master of all things absurd, is giving lessons on how to tie shoelaces to a starfish who doesn't even wear shoes. If that doesn't sound like the beginning of a comedy sketch, I don't know what does. Picture this. SpongeBob, with his infectious enthusiasm, begins the lesson with an impromptu song about the loops and hoops of shoelaces. He dances around, making the act of shoe tying look as intricate as a ballet performance. But what's more amusing is Patrick's reaction. He watches SpongeBob with wide-eyed fascination, completely mesmerized, as if witnessing a magic trick. Now Patrick, bless his heart, tries to follow SpongeBob's instructions, but ends up tying himself into a knot, literally. His arms, legs, even his eyebrows are all tangled up in the shoelaces. It's a sight that would make anyone burst into laughter. But our dear SpongeBob, ever the dedicated teacher, doesn't give up. He insists on continuing the lesson, oblivious to the chaos around him. The situation spirals further into absurdity when SpongeBob, in his typical over-the-top manner, decides to use a boat as a prop to demonstrate the perfect loop. And just when you think it can't get any funnier, Patrick, still tied up in knots, tries to replicate the act on a gigantic rock. The result? A starfish tied to a rock, spinning around like a merry-go-round. It's a classic SpongeBob scene that encapsulates the show's trademark humor, a blend of slapstick comedy and pure silliness. It's the kind of scene that makes you laugh out loud, no matter how many times you've seen it. So the takeaway here is, if you're ever in need of shoe tying lessons, maybe don't ask SpongeBob. From under the sea, we jump back on land to catch up with the ever-charming Bugs Bunny. Ah, the delightful Bugs Bunny, the epitome of charisma, quick-witted humor, and an unending supply of carrots. In this classic scene, we find Bugs' arch-nemesis, the hapless Elmer Fudd, on one of his notorious rabbit hunting expeditions. But as we all know, no ordinary rabbit is our Bugs. With a carrot in hand and a mischievous twinkle in his eye, he's always one hop ahead. As Elmer tiptoes through the woods, shotgun in hand, little does he know that he's the one being hunted, not the hunter. Cue Bugs Bunny popping out of his burrow, and with a nonchalant, "Hey, what's up, Doc?" he sets the stage for a game of wit and hilarity. Bugs, with his peculiar charm, leads Elmer on a wild goose chase, turning the hunter into the hunted. Our furry friend's clever ruses range from dressing up as a lady to lure Elmer, to creating elaborate trapdoors that leave Elmer befuddled and bamboozled. The sheer ridiculousness of Elmer's clueless reactions, coupled with Bugs' deadpan humor, is what makes this scene a timeless classic. Yet the real charm of Bugs Bunny lies not in his tricks, but in his personality. He is the embodiment of the underdog who wins not by strength, but by outsmarting his opponent. He shows us that it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. Bugs Bunny's antics and Elmer Fudd's gullibility create a symphony of laughter, a testament to the timeless appeal of these characters. These unforgettable moments remind us why we fell in love with the world of cartoons, and that's all, folks. Bugs Bunny, the epitome of wit and charm, once again shows us that carrots and quick thinking always win over shotguns. To wrap things up, we have a rapid-fire round of laughter. Prepare yourself for a laughter riot as we bring you a compilation of some of the most amusing moments from the world of cartoons. Let's dive right in, shall we? Picture this: Daffy Duck, in all his crazy glory, attempting to outsmart his nemesis, only to land himself in an even bigger mess. It's a classic case of the bite a bit, and it's just as funny every time. And who can forget the iconic Donald Duck with his unintelligible squawking and constant bickering with his nephews? It's the perfect blend of chaos and comedy, and it never fails to tickle the funny bone. Speaking of chaos, how about the time when Scooby and Shaggy found themselves in a haunted mansion? Their reactions were nothing short of hilarious, from their wide-eyed terror to their madcap escape attempts. It's the epitome of slapstick humor, and it's guaranteed to leave you in stitches. We can't leave out The Simpsons, can we? Bart's shenanigans, Homer's follies, and Marge's attempts to keep the family together all add up to a riot of laughter. Their everyday adventures turn into comedic gold, making us chuckle and shake our heads in disbelief. Think about Pinky and the Brain's futile efforts to take over the world. Their plans are as outlandish as they are hilarious, and they always end in spectacular failure. The irony of it all is just too funny to resist. And let's not forget the time when Jerry outwitted Tom yet again with a scheme so clever it left us all grinning from ear to ear. The tables always turn in the most unexpected ways, adding a dash of surprise to the humor. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of laughter and fun. Remember, in the world of cartoons, the only limit is imagination, and the results are always hilariously unpredictable.